our everlasting Father, the creator of the heavens and the earth, the giver of life and sustainer of things. Indeed, it is in you that we live and we move and have our whole being. We come before you this morning with hearts full of gratitude. We thank you for the gift of life, for the beauty of creation that surrounds us, and for the privilege to gather here today in unity of purpose. Indeed, the earth is yours and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. For you founded it on the seas and established it on the waters. And we acknowledge that we are but symbols of your divine handiwork. Lord, as we mark the occasion of World Environment Day, we humbly confess that at times we have fallen short in our responsibility to care for your creation. We ask for your mercy and for your renewed hearts that are sensitive to the needs of the environment and committed to conserve it for generations yet to come. Heavenly Father, we pray for wisdom and understanding as we engage in discussions, presentations, and collaborations today. Grant insight to our leaders, clarity of thoughts to our experts and facilitators, and openness of hearts to every participant. May your spirit guide every deliberation so that the outcomes of this gathering will not only be insightful but transformative, leading to a practical action that promotes sustainability, protect ecosystems, and enhance the well-being of our communities. Lord, we dedicate this program to you. Let everything that will be said and done bring glory to your holy name and advance the good of humanity and the environment. We thank you. We bless you. In the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, we have prayed with thanksgiving. Amen. You may be seated.
Please let's give him a round of applause. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, for a program to be as strong, you need a good host. In fact, the best host. My name is Jerry T. Mensah. But to accomplishment, in fact, for my accomplishments today, I have an able voice. I would want to just mention her name and then she would continue, but I want to be close to her. She's my co-host. Madam, please introduce yourself. With that smile, please don't forget.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Takrady Technical University, the #1 technical university in Ghana. My name is Wilhelmina Davis, and I am in the Department of Communication Technology. I'm glad to be your host for today's event.
Please let's give her a round of applause. Let's give her a round of applause. Now she will introduce the lady of the day who's about to give us the opening address or the welcome address. Please take over.
Thank you, my MC. So today is World Environmental Day celebration, and it was jointly organized by the Church of Pentecost in collaboration with Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, and as well Takrady Technical University and Corporation Foundation. But the one who coordinated everything was a woman, or is a woman, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Built and Natural Sciences. She has keen and special interest in laser-utilized wood species, wood engineer, and material production technologist. She's also into wood anatomy, physics and chemistry, wood processing. A very learned woman, respectable and humble, God-fearing, hardworking. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the Lenten, the one to introduce you, Professor Gladys Corty, Mrs.
Please, let's do it better. Let's do it better. Let's give her that fame. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning. My Vice Chancellor, Reverend Professor John Franklin Shen, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Engineer Professor Ebenezer Boache, my area head, Apostle Sylvester Ahin, and Mrs. Regina Ahin, Apostle Dr. Samuel Gapeto, and all pastors from the Church of Pentecost here in Garden. And then our Nananum, Nana Kobna Ketia the Fifth, the president of the Western Region House of Chiefs, and other Nananum with him, our eminent people from the forces, staff, and students, and all dignitaries gathered here this morning. Today is a great day because today we have gathered to celebrate a very important day that is being celebrated all over the world, and that is the World Environment Day. And I welcome you all to Takrady Tekka University. Today we join millions of people across the globe in commemorating World Environment Day, a day set aside by the United Nations Environment Program to raise awareness and inspire action towards protecting our environment and ensuring a sustainable future for generations yet unborn. As a university that is committed to excellence in teaching, research, innovation, and community engagement, Takrady Tekka University recognizes that environmental sustainability is not merely a global concern, but a local responsibility. And for that, we are very, very happy and pleased to join in collaboration with the Church of Pentecost. The Church of Pentecost is a global church and is also very well concerned about the environment. We believe that the earth is the Lord's. And if the Lord is our Father, then we have a stake in what happens to our Father's property. And therefore, they celebrate a World Environment Day with the Environmental Care Campaign almost every time. COP Nation is also an NGO that has the environment at their heart. Their activities right at the grassroots is impacting the environment positively. And we know our government is also doing a lot in making sure that our environment is fit. So today's World Environment Day serves as a reminder that every individual, institution, and nation has a role to play in safeguarding our planet. Therefore, we are very happy with the collaboration. So today's celebration is not merely an opportunity to discuss environmental challenges, but also a platform to share innovative solutions, inspire behavioral change, and strengthen partnerships that promote environmental stewardship through activities such as environmental education, cleanup exercises, tree planting, awareness campaigns, exhibitions, and stakeholder discussions. And over the week, we have been doing exactly so. We have been educating the populace through our radio engagements. We engage our young minds through the JHS, through the SSS, and even the university. And we also went to the market. We didn't leave our women aside. We went to the market to also engage them, all on the environment. And this morning, we have gathered to celebrate the day, exchange ideas, change our behavior, all for the good of the environment. And therefore, I encourage all participants to actively engage in today's activities, share ideas, and learn from one another, and commit ourselves to practical actions that will make a lasting impact on our environment. So on behalf of Takrady Tekka University and my own Vice Chancellor, I extend our sincere appreciation to all our sponsors, partners, and guest speakers, and staff, and students, and all stakeholders who have contributed to the success of this event. Once again, welcome to Takrady Tekka University, and welcome to the World Environment Day celebration. May today's event inspire us to become champions of environmental protection and sustainable development. Thank you all, and let us have a very fruitful celebration. Thank you.
Please, let's do one more. One more. Hello? Okay, good. Before we get to introduce the chairperson of the day, we would want to have a breather. And we are privileged to have the Ahantaman Girls dance troupe here to perform for us. If they are ready, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Namuni na namupome. Fue amona tasio. Na nume amona tasio atasio. Ipe fue amona. Bazobaze asasu mususu. Ane manso dawasio de. Etiene bu asase pado. Miraza ya kupone. Bazobaze asasu mususu. Ane manso dawasio de. Etiene bu asase pado. Obio, ane obio, ane obio, ane obio, ane obio.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, obio.
Yewobi, 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 yewobi.
Give them a better round of applause. You see, such display of dexterity warms hearts. They are full of energy. Full of energy. I wish we can open the floor for a few dignitaries to display for us to see. Let's appreciate them again. Thank you very much, handsome and girls. Of course, the program cannot proceed without somebody to sit in the chair and say affairs. And the chairperson for this event, anytime I'm asked to introduce this person, I feel like a peacock in her element. This man obviously needs no introduction, but we will still introduce him. This man is a professor of environmental engineering. He has enormous contribution to curriculum development for polytechnic and technical education. He has several publications to his credit. He is a reputable member of Society of Environmental Toxicology and Chemistry in Europe. He is also a member of International Forest Association in UK. This man is hardworking, very open to everybody, always ready to assist and push you to excel in every endeavor that you get him involved. He's dignified, he's a reverend, and so you can understand where all his morals emanate from. This man I'm talking about is currently the Vice Chancellor of the #1 technical university in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, with dignity, honor, and respect, and a round of applause, help me welcome Professor John Frank Ishun. Please do it. This is my Vice Chancellor. Welcome.
Please, can you take your seat here? Good morning to you all. I want to stand in the foundation already laid, protocol foundation laid by Professor Gladys Cote. Nana, you are welcome. I warmly welcome you all to this important event and extend my sincere appreciation to the Church of Pentecost, the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Corp Nation Foundation, and all stakeholders whose invaluable contribution and support have made this gathering possible. Your collective commitment to this cause is truly commendable, and we are grateful for your partnership in making this event a reality. Before I proceed further, permit me to express my profound gratitude to the organizers for the honor bestowed upon me by inviting me to serve as chairman for this important World Environment Day celebration. I am deeply humbled by this gesture, and I'm pleased to formally accept the responsibility of chairing this program. Ladies and gentlemen, the environment in which we live is fundamental to the survival, health, and well-being of all life on Earth. It provides the resources that sustain our livelihood, support biodiversity, and serves as a foundation for human development. As beneficiaries of these natural resources, we have a collective responsibility to protect, preserve, and manage our environment sustainably. Over the years, government institutions, communities, faith-based organizations, and international bodies have implemented various initiatives and awareness campaigns aimed at promoting environmental stewardship. These interventions have been designed to foster greater environmental consciousness and encourage responsible actions that support the sustainability of our planet. These efforts go a long way to reflect a growing recognition that the future of humanity is inextricably linked to the health of our environment. It is therefore not by accident that we gather here today to observe World Environmental Day. This year's theme, inspired by nature for climate, for our future. Reminds us that nature is not merely a resource to be exploited. It is a source of inspiration, wisdom, and life itself. The solution to many of our environmental challenges can be found in the very ecosystem that sustains us. We are being challenged to rethink our relationship with the environment and to adopt sustainable practices that will ensure a healthier and a more secure future for generations to come. I am particularly encouraged by this partnership demonstrated here today. The collaboration between the Church of Pentecost, government agencies, academia, and the private sector reflects the collective approach required in addressing environmental and climate-related challenges. As the Vice Chancellor of Takoradi Tekka University, I wish to ensure our partners of the university continue commitment to environmental sustainability through education, research, innovation, and community engagement. We recognize that higher education institutions have a crucial role to play in developing environmentally responsible citizens and generating practical solutions to the climate challenges confronting our society. The future we desire depends on the choice we make today. If we are truly inspired by nature, we must also be inspired to protect it. Let us treat our environment and all living things with care, responsibilities, and kindness. We must cultivate an awakened consciousness towards environmental protection and sustainable living, recognizing that every action, no matter how small, contributes to the health of our planet. As an old saying goes, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrowed it from our children, and we must return it better than we found it. Once again, I extend my heartfelt appreciation to the organizers and all participants for their commitment to this worthy cause. Thank you for your attention. God bless you all, and God bless our mother Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Please, let's do it better. Let's do it better. He's the chairperson of the day. Please, let's do it better. Who can speak to the purpose better than the leadership of Church of Pentecost? The denomination that has just not planted churches, but thousands of trees. To explain why faith and climate change are married. The best person to do that, this man I'm about to introduce, is the area head of Takoradi Church of Pentecost. He has served as a full-time minister of the church for 41 years, serving as a member of Executive Committee Council of the church, and as a national head for Malawi and Australia. He has also served as the area head for Asin Fosu and Temale. Apostle Ahin is married to Mama Regina Ahin, who is actively serving alongside him in the house. Please, let's welcome Apostle Sylvester Ahin. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will stand on the protocol as my other speaker said. Distinguished guests, representatives of academia, industry, traditional rulers, civil society, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you warm greetings on behalf of the chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Dr. Eric Nyamiche. It is a privilege to have you all join us today as we commemorate the 2026 World Environment Day under the theme, Inspired by Nature, for the climate, for the future. Today, I would like to reflect on one of the key forces that continues to inspire the Church of Pentecost to serve society with purpose and impact: the power of collaboration in environmental stewardship. The Church of Pentecost sees environmental stewardship as both a moral duty and a practical expression of our faith. We believe humanity has been entrusted with the care of creation. For us, stewardship is not simply an environment concern, it is a sacred responsibility, an act of accountability to God, service to society, and a legacy for future generations. This conviction has shaped the church's annual environmental care campaign, through which we promote environmental awareness, responsible waste management, tree planting, sanitation, and sustainable community practices across Ghana. Through our assemblies and institutions, we are encouraging households, schools, churches, and communities to embrace practical habits that makes visible difference: disposing of waste responsibly, reducing plastic use, planting of trees, and keeping public spaces clean. Our experience has taught us that the greatest impact is achieved through partnership. That's why in all these campaigns, we intentionally work with like-minded institutions to the advance and the environmental sustainability. Notable examples include our collaboration with the Forestry Commission to plant more than 1 million seedlings, our partnership with the Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Assemblies during National Sanitation Day to support community cleanup efforts, and our work with Zoom Lion to recover about 386 tons of plastic waste. In 2024, we partnered with the University of Environment and Sustainable Development to mark World Environment Day. This year, we are honored to collaborate with Takoradi Technical University, Cup Nation Foundation, and the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs, once again demonstrating our conviction that collaborations multiplies impact. Environmental degradation, climate change, pollution, biodiversity loss, and unsustainable resources use are no longer distant concerns. They are present realities affecting health, livelihood, food system, and community resilience. These challenges do not respect institutional boundaries, political affiliations, or geographic locations. No single institution has all the answers, all the expertise, or all the resources required to respond effectively. Lasting solutions emerge when diverse stakeholders unite around a shared vision and a common purpose. Partnership brings together different strengths, perspectives, and capabilities in pursuit of one goal: a healthier and more sustainable environment. They create space for research, innovation, public education, and practical interventions. They also show how faith-based institutions and academia can complement one another, combining community reach, moral influence, and grassroots mobilization with scientific knowledge and technical experts. When this happens, we do more than raise awareness. We drive behavior change, support policy implementation, and turn good ideas into measurable action. When churches, universities, civil society organizations, government agencies, traditional authorities, and the private sector work together, we build stronger platforms for change and increase our capacity to deliver measurable, lasting impact. As we commemorate this year's World Environment Day, I encourage every stakeholder not only to strengthen existing partnerships, but also to commit to practical, visible action. Let us plant and nurture more trees, reduce plastic waste, improve sanitations in our communities, invest in environmental education, and support policies that protect our natural resource. Let us move from conversation to coordination action, from intention to implementation, from isolation or isolated efforts to share responsibility. The environmental challenges before us are significant, but our collective strength is greater. Through collaboration, shared responsibility, and sustained commitment, we can build cleaner communities, strengthen resilience, and leave a healthier environment for generations yet to come. Thank you, and may God bless us all as we work together to care for God's creation. God bless us all. Amen.
I think we can do better. In fact, let's give a spiritual round of applause for the Reverend. So we'd like to acknowledge some dignitaries present. And I will begin in no order with Squadron Leader Hola Lile from Ghana Air Force. Please, if you hear your name, you show by hand. Thank you, sir. The Senior Housemaster, St. John's Senior High School, Reverend Stephen Roxton Edu, is also in our midst. Nana Mochia with Ahantaman Girls Senior High School. Honorable Gilbert Siang Efriye, Assembly Member. Clavel Hatchful, he is with Ghana Resources Commission, Ghana Water Resources Commission. Mr. Thomas Kwanzaa, Minerals Commission. Mr. Francis Annobel Jr., he's a regional head for Mineral Commission. Okay, you're welcome. Mr. Wilson Azima, also from Minerals Commission. Nana Ekua Kodu II, Queen Mother of Isikado, traditional area. Isaac Kumnipa, Mr. Isaac Kumnipa. I'm sure Nana Kobnankatia might say that Izin Brenipa. Nana Mubwa. Zin Brenipa. So maybe that is why he's in that profession. Mr. Adam Dori, Superintendent Ghana Prison Service. Mr. Zuri Bright Edmund, Prison Service. Mr. George Oposu Amedu, Environmental Protection Agency. Madam Angelina Akosia Efriye, also from EPA. Madam Comfort Bedu, St. John's Senior High School teacher. Madam Edna Aqua, Assistant Director, STMA. Nana Bakwe III, Dodikro of Anto Shama. Helikaya Benyo, Executive Member of TTI. Also in groups, we have the Church of Pentecost, pastors and members. Please, if you are here, give us a wave. Oh. The auditorium is spiritually charged. Ghana Maritime Authority, the staff from Ghana Maritime Authority. We have Ghana Fire Service, staff from Ghana Fire Service, Ghana Prison Service, Kingsmen of Adokope, Kingsmen of Adokope. We have Petroleum Commission staff, we have EPA staff, we have TTU management, deans, HODs, directors, and staff. Give us a wave. You are all welcome and duly acknowledged. We also have in our midst St. John's School, the school. St. John's School. The Saints. The Saints. Munjesu Memem. The Saints. A handsome girls, senior high. Agis. Oh, are they? Agis. Agis. Our regards to Mrs. Miss Kankam. We have Opportunity Industrialization Technical Institute. Opportunity Industrialization Technical Institute. What's your slogan? Together you do what? You help yourselves. So together. Okay, that's nice. You're welcome to TTU. Our doors are open to you. When you want to go to the tertiary, come and buy forms from TTU. And we are also expecting Fijai Senior High School. Young souls. Young souls. Young souls. So strong, the race to run. You are welcome. We also have, for Fijai students, we don't grow old, do we? No. Media partners include Pent TV. We also have TTU, Department of Public Affairs. We also have Adum TV. We also collaborated with Cope Nation Media, Radio Premier, Melody FM, Empire FM, Radio 360, New Day TV, YFM, and Sharp FM. Reverend Professor John Frankishan has been introduced as the MC, and he's ably assisted or deputized by Professor Ebenezer Boache as the Pro VC. He just stepped out. We also have in our midst Nana Kobna Nkatia the Fifth, Omanhene of traditional area, and he of Escado traditional area, and he's the president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs. This man is so intelligent. Nana, you are welcome. We always enjoy your stories, you know. Yes. We also have in our midst Apostle Sylvester Ayin. He's the area head of the Church of Pentecost, Takrady area. And he's here with his wife. And so at this juncture, I would like us to be on our feet as we welcome our special guest. Thank you very much. So we just received the regional minister, the Western Regional Minister, Honorable Joseph Nelson. Let's welcome him with a round of applause. Let's have a brief musical interlude and we shall continue.
Yes. A round of applause. Heavy, extremely heavy, especially for me. I have one of the most respectable persons for me in this house, and I'm going to Wanzam, I salute you. I'm not going to mention your name. Wanzam, I salute you. Thank you so much. Before the keynote, we would want to invite for a breaker so that we can take a breather before we continue. Glenda Ofori Amponsa from Tesak International School with a poem 3R. Please, let's give her a warm welcome. A round of applause. She's a very young lady coming through. Please, let's make sure our clap is warming enough. It should be warming enough. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, my lady.
Good day. I am Glenda Oforam Ponsa, the primary school prefect of Tesak International School. Have you ever stopped to ask yourselves what kind of world you are leaving behind for the next generation? The earth is the home of all living organisms, precious and green, a place of beauty that must always be seen. As children and adults, we all have a role to play to protect nature every single day. Plastic waste thrown here and there causes destruction everywhere, leading to pollution and flooding too, and harming the environment we all value. Plastic waste continues to grow, yet small actions can help us show that together we can make things right and help keep our future clean and bright. There are 3 R's that serve as pillars for a healthy environment: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce the waste we throw away. Reuse materials in a better way. And recycle items we use each day to help keep pollution away. At Tesak International School, we proudly stand, working together hand in hand, knowing very well that water is life, yet its packaging can cause great strife. In the past, we relied on tap water. We soon realized that the safest drinking water available to us came in sachets and bottles. However, we noticed these were creating a lot of litter. Most of them were not biodegradable. To address this challenge, we introduced waste segregation bins to ensure proper disposal and collection of waste. Some of the sachets collected were used for creative projects like bags, collage, and other useful items. We have also reduced the use of takeaway packs and spoons, which were formerly used for school feeding. Pupils are now encouraged to bring their own plates and metal spoons. Used pens are also repurposed as counters for learning activities. Some of the plastics collected are proudly given to SOAR, where they are recycled instead of being discarded. These plastics are transformed into roofing sheets and footwear, giving them a new purpose. Step by step, let us make things right and help keep our environment clean and bright. Let us join all hands today to help protect our earth. After all, if we do not protect our environment today, what kind of world will we live for tomorrow? Thank you.
Hello. Glenda Ofori Amponsa. Please give her a round of applause. Give her a round of applause. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Just as my co-MC said, the space is charged with the Holy Spirit because we have COP in the house. But now, if you want the data, the deep science, and then the frameworks, you call on professors, especially one who is also an apostle. He sits at the intersection of scholarship and spirituality. Let's receive Apostle Professor Joseph Ignatius Boete, who is here to give us an academic paper. A round of applause for him. Greater round of applause for him.
Thank you so much. Standing on the existing protocol, I want to present to you an academic paper on the title, Inspired by Nature, Responsible for the Future, Rethinking Climate Crisis, Divine Retribution, through an ESG lens. Inspired by Nature, Responsible for the Future, Rethinking Climate Crisis, Divine Retribution through ESG lens. This is a paper jointly presented by myself and my brother, Apostle Samuel Kojo Gapito. He's a PhD holder as well. Now, the escalating global climate crisis demands that we look at innovative ways of engaging sociologically, economically, and theological frameworks that transcends traditional Western anthropological paradigms. This paper introduces a contemporary African ecological lens, critically re-evaluating the intersection of environmental degradation, religious interpretations, behavioral patterns, and human agency. Historically, environmental disasters have been misconstrued, often to be based on some religious discourse, which is called divine retribution. From the retribution narrative, people perceive that climate change is absolutely an act of God, for which reason we can do little about it. This narrative inherently absorbs human efforts, and it brings what we call ecological fatalism. Drawing from the rich African indigenous cosmologies, the communal philosophy of Ubuntu, I am because we are, and since we are, therefore I am, this study reframes the earth not as a passive backdrop of human salvation, but as an interconnected living sanctuary for which we are accountable for our stewardship. By deconstructing the divine punishment motive, the paper argues that climate crisis is not an act of vengeful deity, but the direct systemic consequence of anthropocentric greed, ecological injustice, and a broken relationship with creation. Inspired by the natural world's intrinsic rhythm and wisdom, this African socio-eco-theological perspective shift gives us a discourse to move from passive to an active interpolation and forward-thinking responsibility. Now, the study is qualitative autoethnographic based, and we looked at conceptual interwoven examination of concepts on eco-theology, on sustainability, and theological frameworks. We use the shared reality theory, and the research conceptually examines the contrast between reality and imagination in the African worldview. The study moves beyond a single theological analysis to explore how African economic, social, and governance vulnerabilities and religious inclinations intersect to shape local perceptions and responses to climate change. We see that people think that climate change is absolutely from God. It's an act of nature, for which reason you and I can do little. But this research is postulating that climate change, if we want to look at the retribution theory, would drop into absolute fatalism. We will continually become worse and worse until the whole earth falls into doldrum. Now we posit that there is the need for us as caretakers of the earth to look at our spiritual maturity and link them with the well-being of the biosphere. Now, the paper offers a transformative ethical framework for the future. It calls for urgent ecological responsible practice that integrates indigenous ecological wisdom with the global crisis action to foster planetary healing and intergenerational justice. When we're growing up in our communities, we had ecological wisdom protecting our forests and protecting our river and water bodies. Now, as part of the ecological wisdom, Nanamnom will tell us that on Tuesdays, you don't go to the forest. Nanamnom will tell you that on Fridays, you don't fish. Nanamnom will tell you that this forest is a sacred forest. Now, unfortunately, they mystified it. Now, the mysticism that guided and protected this forest prevented people from entering these forests. They were ecological wisdom that were protecting the forest. Now, over time, when people became academically inclined and spiritually potent, what they decided to do is that they decided to engage the powers of the forest. And then they wanted to see if indeed there was any power in the forest. Now, after engaging the powers in the forest and realizing that, not knowing it was an ecological wisdom that was protecting the forest, then they decided to enter this forest and began to vandalize the forest. Here we are, and then what protected and kept the earth, and then these forest reserves as an ecological place and a safe haven for us have all been degraded today. So this research says that even though those ecological wisdom that protected the earth has been destroyed, there is a need for us to look at how to engage further. Today, the issue of global crisis is no longer distant. It is real. It is with us. Everything shows that climate crisis is with us. Now look at the erratic monsoons, prolonged droughts, the sea level rise. Now if you walk and drive along Elmina, go to the Volta region, the sea level is rising. Now there is absolutely a change in weather patterns. The rains no longer come at the times when we expect. Our mothers would plow the land. They'll be waiting for the rains. Sometimes at the expected time when it should rain, then there is weather dodge. The rains are not coming. It comes at another time when the place they graded has begun growing. It's becoming a real challenge. Now there is the need for all of us as individuals and citizens to protect the 5 spheres of life. When we are talking of sustainability, we are talking of protecting the 5 spheres of life. 1, the atmosphere. We burn and it goes into the clouds and the skies. 2, the hydrosphere, the water bodies, the liquid, the sea, the rivers, the hydrosphere. The geosphere, the earth. We dig the earth, we bury materials, we bury waste in the earth. That is not sustainable. The biosphere, the forest that has been bequeathed to us, which should be a place where some animals should be, they all have biological and ecological essence. Some animals are becoming extinct now, and these are dangerous for our future. They all have biological essence. And then the cryosphere. We don't have much of the cryosphere in Ghana, but where we have frozen earth. We have a responsibility to protect all these 5 spheres, from the atmosphere to the hydrosphere, to the geosphere, to the biosphere, to the cryosphere. We all have a responsibility, and we must endeavor to ensure that we protect all these 5 spheres. Now, as we protect these 5 spheres, people think that divine retribution has resulted in significant changes in this world. Now, from a theological perspective, the Old Testament narrative makes us understand that when people sin against God, God brings punishment. Example, the Noahic flood. Now, Pentecostals and charismatics are also thinking today that because we are in the end time, that is why things are happening that way. Now, ATR belief is telling us that the delays in rains are because our parents say that anytime you offend the gods get angry and they punish you for a delayed rain. Then, when you go to the Hadith, the Muslims are saying that we must take care of the earth. If you fail to take care of the earth, God will punish us for not being good stewards. Now, based on this narrative, even scholars such as Chitando and Guanda says that drought and floods have been intercepted consequences for our moral decadence. Right from academia to spirituality, all thoughts are gearing towards the fact that there is something wrong spiritually, for which reason we have this challenge. But what we are saying is that let's move beyond the spiritual narrative. Let's move beyond the fact that we are saying we can't do anything and quickly look at what we can do to help the earth. So the framework we use is an interplay between sociology, economics, governance, and theology, using the shared reality theory. We all have a quick role to play. Let us see the role we can play in this paradigm. Now, in the socio-eco-theological shared reality, which is a framework I propounded for this presentation, what am I saying? What I'm saying is that let us deconstruct our epistemic dimension. Let's deconstruct the flawed shared reality of divine punishment. Let's deconstruct our thoughts that we can't do anything. Let's take away that ideology. Let's reconstruct epistemic dimensions of being inspired by nature. Let's rethink what we can do to be inspired to protect the earth. Let's reconstruct our ecological and relational dimensions. Let's think about one another. Any economic activity you do, if it's economic, whatever you do, think about your neighbor. Think about the generations yet unborn. Remember, sustainability says that we must leave the earth a better place for 4 generations yet unborn. In any action you take, are you sure that you are leaving the earth as a better place for 4 generations yet unborn? The way we are mining, the way we are harvesting the forest, the way we are winning gravels. So anytime we talk about it, as if it's only the Galamsey people, the way we even win the earth of gravel, stones, and earth, we leave pits there. On carpet, we don't chem them very well. All these are ecological challenges we need to deconstruct. Let's think eco-Ubuntu. Let's think about ourselves and generations yet unborn. Let's develop eco-theological audience where we would engage the society and create thoughts that will let us become very responsible. From the socio-eco-theological shared reality, what am I saying? I'm saying we have a shared responsibility to protect the earth. Let us be inspired now to protect the earth. Climate change is not divine retribution. It is ecological responsibility. We have a responsibility to take care of the earth and then leave the earth as a better place. Now, broadly, what are the causes of climate change? 5 broad causes. 1, natural drivers. You can't do anything about it, like the cyclones, the volcanoes. Yet, this accounts for only 0.1% and 1 degree of the climate change in terms of the temperature rise. We are all aware that the temperatures are rising 2 degrees, and then in the Sahel area of northern Africa, temperatures are likely to rise up to 3 degrees. And these
becomes very fatal for us. And we all know that the Sahara is gradually shifting southward. It is gradually coming to Ghana and the northern part of Ghana. So if the temperature continues to rise northward, then it's becoming more devastated for us. Let's look at anthropological and industrial causes. The fossil fuel, the carbon dioxide, the methane, the nitrogen, we pollute the earth with. Then socio-economic factors, population growth, urbanization, agricultural expansion. Then governance issues. Unfortunately, because we are financially limited, we are unable to fight climate change very well. Then the greatest of all is our ethical behaviors, which is driving climate change so significantly. What are some of the ethical behaviors? Number one, deforestation. Today, we are losing about 17% of the forest every year. Then reliance on charcoal. Recently, I asked my wife, why is it that people are still buying charcoal? Then my wife told me, charcoal is still cheaper than gas. The woman will tell you, I was surprised that charcoal is still cheaper than gas. And they are saying charcoal still lasts longer than gas. Until we put in measures as a nation to ensure that gas becomes cheaper, our women will continue to use charcoal. Because they want to be economically, they want to try and balance their balance sheet. So until we make the women empowered to be able to sustain and manage what they have, they will continue to rely on charcoal. Then open burning of municipal wastes, indiscriminate disposal of plastics, slash and burn, and all others. Now, look at the next slide, for instance. Today, we have polluted the entire water bodies with plastic. Look at the other side, industrial pollution. Look at the other side, downward, river water pollution. It is estimated, recently we did a research, and we even realized that water flowing through our pipelines that have been treated by Ghana Water, still there were metal elements found in the water. It means that the cost of treating water is gradually becoming so expensive and not affordable. Very soon, if we don't take care, we'll be importing water from neighboring nations to Ghana because we may not be able to treat the water because of the amount of metals that has been injected into the water. Now look at our plastics. Just the common rubber plastic we buy with. When you put it into the earth, it takes 20 years to decompose. Why don't we get to the place where you are going to buy something? You hold your own rubber. Just that tiny cocoa rubber, that one, 20 years to degrade. Straw, the straw we drink water from, straw, it takes 200 years for straw to degrade. So if we decide to dig the earth and put these things in the earth, 200 years down the line, it wouldn't degrade. Plastic rings, it takes 400 years to degrade. Even the plastic cups we drink water from, 450 years to decompose. This tells us that there are glaring issues we quickly need to take a look at. For the sake of time, let me quickly move to actions that we will need to quickly take a look at. Now, the screen there tells us that by 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. By 2050. So by 2050, if our fishermen go to fish and they are going to fish, when they throw the nets, they'll be catching plastic instead of bringing fish home. And this is a worrying issue for us. Look at the floodings we are experiencing today. Now, what are we saying? Today, it's been established that civic and the religious institutions are doing well. But our efforts are ultimately not enough because they go and seal the gutters. They go and remove the place. Just 2 days later, you go and then it's been pushed back into the drain. So they are doing well. Church of Pentecost has planted over 2.2 million seedlings in the last 2 years. Now they look at cleaning the markets and plastic waste. Apostle Sylvester said it, about 4.5 tons of plastic and all those things, but they are not enough. Number 2, I realize that there is a gap between our moral and civic entry points.
I think there is a problem with our educational system. There is. And until we look at tackling it very well from the basic schools, where we'll incorporate civic responsibility and then the children learning to be responsible and loving the nation, we will never get it. Until we go down from class 1 to class 6, every year we should be teaching environmental sustainability. We should be teaching the children how to take care of the environment. We should tackle it at the seedling stage so that they will grow up to be very responsible people. Number 3, there is a fragmental theological gap. We go to church, we go to the mosque, and they teach us about stewardship, yet we come out worse than we even listened from the church. Immediately we come out of the church auditoriums, we've left everything the pastors taught us. It has been established that fewer churches use one Sunday in the year to talk about ecological stewardship. We must drive to the point where churches would use some time in their preaching to talk about ecological stewardship. There is similarly a decline in our communal efforts as a nation. Those days, we used to have communal work and then communal mobilization, but there is similarly a decline in that. There is similarly a failure in terms of our MMDAs. There is similarly a failure. Where is our Nsamansaman, our local health inspectors? Where are they now? Isn't it more expensive with cleaning than having these inspectors available? It's cause for us to think about these things. Now, I just give some few proposals as I run up. Number 1 of my proposals is that let's deconstruct the flawed shared reality. Let's deconstruct it. Let's take off the mindset that climate change is, we can't do anything about it. Tell somebody you can do something about it. Tell somebody it is our shared responsibility. So let's begin to take that ideology off our heads, that we can't do anything. We can do something about it. Let's reconstruct Ubuntu Eco ideology, where we care for each other. We care for generations yet unborn. We care for our children. And let's try and think about this practice. Again, let us get our states and our governmental, when we talk about ESG, economic, social, and governance, let's move to governmental policies that will be more stringent. We may have to bring in ecological courts that will sanction people for introducing waste into the system just like that. We need to move from sanitation to sanitation and ecological courts so that we become more retributive to people who do not take care of the environment. People, colleagues, I want to quickly wrap up by saying that we all have a responsibility to be inspired by knowledge, be responsible for the future, and be divinely mandated as custodians who take care of the earth. As ecological responsible practice, let us rebuild ecological wisdom. Let us think climate action, and let's look at pathways that will heal the planet and live intergenerational justice. Let's remember that the ESG framework is a compass for our journey. Let's remember that true development cannot be measured by economic and technical matrices alone, but by the health of the environment, by the strength of our social fabric, and the transparency of our institutions. Let us remember that there is the need for us to be smart, to be strategic, and to look at how to protect the earth and leave the earth as a better place for generations yet unborn. Be inspired by nature, be responsible for the future, rethink climate crisis, and refocus on eco-Ubuntu theology. Thank you.
Please, let's do it again. Let's do it again for him. Let's do it again. Thank you all so much. That was just the academic paper presented to you. We would have panel discussions. We would have remarks from the key stakeholders. And we would have some recitals and all of that. But before then, we would want to welcome a man that I respect so much, a brother of mine. He's my boss as well, from COP Nation Foundation. In fact, the entire consortium, Eco Employ Africa, and as well as Trash World. Now, COP Nation They just don't talk, they do the work. And as I said, you've heard from the faith and the policymakers. But now, let's just have time to acknowledge and then hear, see as well as we have Dr. Xavier Kweku Adzika, who is the CEO of Cup Nation Foundation, to give us something on climate impact project, a presentation that I believe you would love so much. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Let's give him a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes. I gave him a nickname. He's the Chief Bolaman. Yes, he's the Chief Bolaman. Anytime you can see him, yes. I know I would say this and you'll be shocked, but he takes it with heart because all he wants is to make sure the whole system is clean. Thank you so much, sir. Welcome. Welcome.
God is here. Indeed, God is here. Please turn to your neighbor and say, God is here. And I will explain why. I have two reasons. Reason number one is, thank you. Reason number one is we all left our various homes and offices and we got here safely. God is here. Reason number two, I was sitting down and my team members, two of my team members came to me to say, oh, your presentation has been skipped. It was mistook for a video that was showed earlier. Then I said, oh, I mean, we are collaborating to do this, so let's just talk it out and have it resolved. And right after the presentation, the paper that has been presented, even when he started, I just said to myself, indeed, God is here. Because that change was divine, if I should say. A paper has been presented to us, research, outcome, and recommendations. But if I'm here to show you what, as a people, we've been able to do, we've started doing, for which we've gathered here to acknowledge ourselves and continue to do and even do better, then that is the order that we should have actually put it. So I was just wondering how I would come and talk about what we've done, and then the next presentation is on the problem. It's not in order. So indeed, God is here. How can the Church of Pentecost Ghana be in the building and God will not be here? Thank you very much. So my name is Xavier Kweku Adzika. I am the Chief Servant of Cup Nation, and I'm here to do a presentation on climate impact projects. And I must say that I'm doing this on behalf of the region. This gathering here is a national gathering, and I believe by the end of the session, we will all get to understand it well. So my presentation is being done on behalf of Western region. And you also understand why on behalf of Western region at the end of it. So okay. Okay. Can someone assist? Okay, thank you very much. I've mentioned my name. I'm representing Cup Nation. I've been awarded Western Region Corporate Social Responsibility Person of the Year on 2 occasions, 2021, 2023. I've earned an honorary doctorate award through my baller work as a chief servant, as Jerry calls me, the chief baller man. Through this, I was also named Ghana's most outstanding personality in integrated sustainability and social impact last year. Through this baller work, I was inducted into Corporate Ghana Hall of Fame. Maybe baller work can help somebody else to be acknowledged from here. Agis. They needed that, and the MC missed it, so I had to fill in the gap for them. Sorry. So, Corp Nation is a group of people. We may call it a movement. It's a corporate nation. Some of us have heard SAC Nation, Beam Nation, and the likes. And they are for a purpose. Corp Nation is for environmental purpose. So Corp Nation was established 10 years ago, 2026. I must say that I'm making this presentation in a form of story so we can relate to it well. And how it started, and the direction is going, I believe that by the time we leave here, we will have a lot more people living here and becoming drivers of change. So Corp Nation was founded in 2016, 10 years ago. The focus was on youth development and to drive change, psychosocial change in the areas where required. It was colorfully attended by various stakeholder groups, and our maiden activity is called COPTOR. So COPTOR, we moved into senior high schools and basic schools and enlighten the students on extracurricular activities or areas where we believe that they still need to grab some knowledge which falls out of the curriculum in school. Currently, Corp Nation is now a Corp Nation Foundation. So we started and we decided to introduce another focus area that is on environment. And as a result, Corp Nation Foundation was established 5 years on April 25th, 2021. So Corp Nation Foundation has a focus on environment, together with the Corp Nation brand itself, includes the focus on youth empowerment and youth development. We are very dominant in the Western region here. We have footsteps in the Central region and in Greater Accra as well. This is how it started with Corp Nation Foundation. We got into the communities, started collaborating with assembly members, and I must mention Honorable Gilbert Efriye Sian, assembly member for New Takoradi Lower Town. He was very active. He's been very active from day one today. And a couple of assembly members who are still with Corp Nation here in the region. So we started with no particular formula, just contacting the assembly members, telling them we want to help you gather the youth to see to sanitation, or let me say sanitation standards in our communities. And we did a good job. From there, we had other prominent people joining. On the screen, to your right, you see, to your left, you see Professor Ramos Asafoje, who is the Dean of FAMTELS, I think formerly CELIPS, TTU, joining us also from day one, getting into gutters, drains, some taller than we are, to do the cleanup exercise. On the right is a media person, Dr. Pounds from Multimedia in Accra, representing how we managed to get some influential people to join us to embark on the course. Now, in doing all of this, we saw we were doing something good, but we also identified an opportunity for improvement. And what it is? It is the way we handle waste. From the days of Kwame Nkrumah to today, there hasn't been much improvement. In fact, somebody will even challenge and say there hasn't been any improvement in how we manage our waste in our homes, despite all the efforts, all the education that has been given to us, all the efforts made by the district assemblies and the likes. We tend to blame authorities. Meanwhile, the waste is generated by the masses, and it's leave us as individuals into where we find them gathering before we begin to blame authorities. So the linear versus the circular system of managing waste is what we took into consideration. So we are doing a good job, but how can we improve on this? So we started researching from 2021. We are still researching. And I must say that we have an MOU with TTU supporting us with research in the area of CELIPS and now FAMTELS. So we decided to go into how we can be able to come up with a solution that will improve waste management, that will make it community-led, and most especially a corporate one. So the linear system is what we all see around. We use products, we take off packaging, we mix it all together, it becomes baller. And most go to the landfill, some are burnt, polluting the environment, some end up getting into the ocean and the likes. But how do we put this into a circular system to make sure that we don't have refuse or waste pollution? It's a simple way to do. We've all heard about it a number of times. We've just had in our hearts and ears not to practice it. We need to segregate our waste. Once it's segregated, it is no more waste. It's a resource. I always say that in recent times, you don't go anywhere and find copper materials on the ground, on the floor, because it is identified as a resource. If you don't pick it up, somebody will do. Plastics are resources. They are resources. But it is when you mix it up with your food and other pollutants that makes it waste. So in actual fact, there shouldn't be anything in today's world, there shouldn't be anything called waste. There shouldn't be anything called waste. But unfortunately, that is what it is. But fortunately, we are getting there. And our gathering here is an indication of our commitment right from the top to the students who are gathered here. So we came up with 4 R's initiative and we added a plus. Through our research, we realized the 3 R's that TESAC students came to do a poetry recital on. We realized that aside the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle, already there's a lot of waste gone out into the system. How do we deal with that? We need to recover them. So that is what made us consider adding the 4th R, recovery. And the plus is a sustainability inclined part of the 4R plus. Jerry caused this. So we realized that whatever we intend to do, somebody has done it. Wherever we intend to go with our project, somebody has been there. So how do we make a difference? How do we let it stay with the people? Sustainability. So coordination activities, and I must say in collaboration with every supporting organization, collaborator, and Nananum we've been able to ensure that what we do stays with the people. We don't go into any host community, be it school, be it settlement, to present to them what we think they should do. We work it out with them, we let them own it, and we leave what we believe, if they have, will help them continue to practice what we've shared with them, the implements and the likes. So in schools, we have environmental clubs, Saving the Planet Club. In all the schools gathered here have Saving the Planet clubs in their school. In the coastal communities, we have coastal youth clubs, and we also do tree planting. And these clubs sustain what Corp Nation does everywhere we go. And because of that, Corp Nation is everywhere. And I always tell my executives that we are indeed everywhere, and every day Corp Nation is working. And you get to know why I'm saying this. So 4R Plus was launched a year after Corp Nation Foundation was established. So we launched it in GSTS school, where we managed to also demonstrate what we mean by reuse. So stacking used car tires to form bins, labeling them for collection of different bins by way of segregation from source, and a couple of other initiatives that we added. So in order to broaden what we are doing, we actually identified Nakiat Dramani Sam, who is so environmental inclined, to unveil as the ambassador for 4R Plus initiative. We are in schools. Here in the Western region, we are in 14 senior high schools, 4 basic schools, and in these schools we have clubs driving or acting as ambassadors for what we stand for as Corp Nation. We are in churches, not so much churches, but from here it's going to grow. Here in Takoradi, we are in Bethel Methodist Church, in Accra, Christ the King Church. Lorry stations, we partnered GPRTU. Realize that the stations are where waste generation, it's one of the areas where waste generation is really a problem, a challenge. And so we have partnered with GPRTU, where when you go to Accra Station, Takwa Station, Cape Coast Station, and the likes, there is waste segregation, particularly plastic waste. They gather them, and in all these host locations, they gather them, put them in some jumbo sacks. When it's full, we have routines for collecting, and we pay them in exchange for the gatherings that they've done. We are in the hospitality space, hotels, event centers. We are in institutions. We are with GP, Ghana Police, EPA, and the likes. Security services, we are with oil and gas companies as well. So these are pictures of our activities in the schools. That's Christ the King Church. This is with the GPRTU, the security services, Takoradi Central Market. Sustainability, I've talked about that. So on your screen is an initiative led by students from Archbishop Walter Girls Senior High School and GSTS, choosing to do beach cleanup at New Takoradi Beach as part of their self-led initiatives that they take. We're actually working with the SDGs as well, SDG 3, good health, SDG 5, gender equity, SDG 6, water and sanitation, SDG 8, decent work, economic growth, decent work and economic growth, SDG 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, SDG 13, Climate Action, 14, Life Underwater, SDG 17, very important for me, Partnership for the Goals. And what we are witnessing here is a typical promotion of SDG 17. Ocean plastic pollution is key. There is evidence that people have plastics in the form of microplastics in their bloodstream. I don't even know if I have some in my bloodstream. Plastics getting into the ocean. We all consuming the fish, and we don't know which fish we consume that has plastics in. So Cup Nation coastal youth clubs across the entire coast of the Western region, working around the clock and doing our best to make sure we don't have plastics getting into the ocean. So this and many more, Cup Nation Foundation, together with our partners and for that matter, our collaborators here, we are doing. And I cannot end this. I was going to show an impact measurement on a slide. We cannot just be working without measuring impact. We should be able to measure the impact we are making and know if we are doing well or not. There's been thousands of plastic waste gathered. It's associated and equivalent environmental savings. How much our stakeholders have earned from schools to the lorry stations and the likes, households, through day gathering plastics. And I can tell you last year alone, we paid over 300,000 Ghana cedis to stakeholders who had gathered plastics. And we have Petroleum Commission gathering plastics. We pick, they are collaborating with us, and a number of institutions as well. Thank you very much. I'll find it difficult to see. So, I mean, that's the impact measurements that I mentioned. Our patrons. Nana Nketia, Omanhene of Isikado traditional area, Nana Nketia the Fifth, has been with us from day one, President of Western Regional House of Chiefs, and his vice, Awula Atibrukusu, has been a patron from day one, supporting us in what we do. My good friend, Chief of Apramado, Nana Ija Kwamina, the 11th. Can you please skip to appreciations? It's at the bottom. So, we've been able to do and sustain what we've done with the support of some high offices and individuals who have used their influence to support us. Our regional minister is here, Honorable Joseph Nelson, has supported our cause so much, and more will be showing in the coming days. Our VC TTU led the signing of the MOU, and we've had a lot of support through that. Our regional director, right, Shine Fiagome, EPA, has led us into the security services and other spaces to collaborate with us and continue to make the impact that we've made. Special appreciations also to the chairman of Church of Pentecost for the church's efforts and identifying Cup Nation as a partner or a collaborator for this event. And then also to our MMDAs who have been supporting us and who is to take the credit is Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs. I end it here. Thank you.
This country, you will let us deceive.
Mediata, Bedifo, Mediata. Yawa yo yo yo, yawa yo yo yo, yawa yo 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 yo. Mediata, Bedifo, Mediata. Yawa yo yo yo, yawa yo yo yo, yawa yo yo, yawa yo 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 yo, yawa yo yo, yawa. Mediata, Bedifo, Mediata, Bedifo, yawa yo yo yo, yawa yo yo. Oh.
Thank you very much, and Handsome and Girls Drama Troupe. Let's appreciate them better. I'd like to acknowledge a few dignitaries before we continue. We have in our midst the Director of Administration, Mr. Dela Kemavo. Local governments. We also have Mr. Michael Forson. He is the Technical Advisor on Sanitation. So they all came with the Minister for Local Government. We also have Engineer Fifi Boedi, ESQ Deputy Director of Environmental Health and Sanitation. Then we have in our midst Mr. Idrisu Samus Usama, Director for Policy Planning, Monitoring and Evaluation. Also in our midst is Mr. John Intibri, Metropolitan Development Planning Officer of STMA. Mr. Kenneth Owusu Frimpong, Assistant Development Planning Officer, STMA. We have Mr. Aaron Ening, Assistant Environmental Health Analyst of STMA. Also in our midst are students from Diabene Senior High Technical School. Where are you? What's your slogan? What? Anyway, you are welcome. We have in our midst Archbishop Porter Girls Senior High School. You're welcome. Then we have Takrady Technical Institute, a special group labeled as Eco Warriors. You're welcome to Takrady Technical University. When you buy your university forms, buy Takrady Technical University. You'll be proud to be in the #1 technical university. We also have reps from ECMA, reps from STMA, we have reps from Regional Coordinating Council, we have reps from ZEAL Ghana, as well as reps from Ghana Port and Harbour Authority, and we have Mr. Emmanuel Suman, the Regional Director for Ghana Education Service. He came with his PR, Madam Elizabeth. Thank you very much. It is time for us to hear from our keynote speaker. This man, or honorable man, is an accomplished Ghanaian legislator, a public servant, and a development advocate. He has over 20 years experience in leadership and in governance, entrepreneurship, and national development. He holds a BA, that is Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, and also has an MBA in Finance. He's a member of Commonwealth Parliamentary Association between the years of 2009 and 2012, and also from 2014 to 2024, he was a member of ECOWAS Parliament. Currently, he is the Sector Minister for Local Governments, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the distinguished Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim.
Thank you very much, my sister. I know as you are talking, people are listening. I was a member of the ECOWAS Parliament in 2013, Commonwealth Parliament from 2009 to 2012. Then from 2016 2017 to 2024, a member of the World Parliament. Our distinguished professor, who is a professor in all sectors and the revered chief of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, my great apostle, whom I cherish so much. Apostles gathered here. Before I come to my official speech, let me commend the earlier speakers for preparing the place for me to be able to flow. You can't come to a Pentecost program as an elder of the Church of Pentecost without starting with the scriptures. Why are we here? In fact, I should have been here on Monday. And that's why I want to apologize before I proceed, so that by Wednesday, all of us would have started. But unfortunately or fortunately for me, June 4th anniversary celebration was in my constituency. And that was yesterday. So from Monday to yesterday, I was in the constituency. We closed around 2. I prepared the place around 8. So I left Bana in the Bono region yesterday around 9 o'clock and got here very late. That is why, Apostle, I came, instead of 9, I came around 10. So forgive me. But I cannot skip such an important program. Every religious person believes in the environment. And that is why I want to commend the earlier speaker before I come here. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 8, the Lord God created Adam and put him in the Garden of Eden, in the eastern part of Eden, and ordered him, protect it, keep it, and care for it. So our environment, as we are here now, our Garden of Eden is Takoradi Political University, Technical University. We must keep it, work it, and care for it. Therefore, if you throw any litter here, it means you are not being a religious person. You are not obeying scriptures. If you go to your home, that's your Garden of Eden. If you are in the Western region, that's your Garden of Eden. If you are in the Blue region, that's your Garden of Eden. If you are in your church, that's your Garden of Eden. In your school, it's your Garden of Eden. So everybody, and that is why our traditionalists, Nananum, before they pour libation, they say Asasiya, and that's why they also established sacred growth. This place is a sacred growth. Nobody should enter this place. And that was the myth surrounding the local forest created by Nananum. That was our Garden of Eden. So environmental care predates everything. But here we are. Let me go to my official speech given to me, having fulfilled the Pentecostal eldership and going to the scriptures. My brother, the Western Regional Minister, Honorable Joseph Nelson, the Metropolitan Chief Executive of Sekondi Takoradi, the Chairman of the Church of Pentecost, Apostle Eric Nyamiche's representatives, and my beloved father, Reverend Professor, Nana Professor, the Omahino of Iskado Traditional Area, and Nana Kobran Ketia the 5th. In fact, everybody calls you his father. Me too, you are my father. Our beloved Vice Chancellor of Takoradi Technical University, Reverend Professor John Frank Eshen, heads of department present, heads of agencies of the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly, faculty and students of Sekondi Takoradi Technical University, the CEO of Coordination Foundation, Xavier Kweku Adika, friends from civil society organization, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our fathers and brothers from the security agencies, let me say good afternoon. As for the media, I'm with you. It is a great honor to join you this morning at this opening of the workshop on World Environmental Day, held here at Takoradi Technical University. On behalf of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, I warmly welcome all of you to this important gathering. I extend particular appreciation to the Church of Pentecost for convening this important program, and to be specific, in secondary Takoradi. In fact, when I came here, I wasn't happy. But the plastics prophecy is not a prophecy. When empiricists are giving you forecast, you must take it very serious. Why should we get more raw plastic in 2050 than more fish? The plastic we are seeing around are the plastics that will find their way in the sea. So after this lecture, Regional Minister May, I will come back again. I don't want to conclude that so far it is the dirtiest metropolis I've entered. And it is not your fault because the money is not given to you as a regional minister. The money is given to the Metropolitan Chief Executive, and that's the mayor of Secondary Takoradi. So the way Takoradi is dirty, he must be held responsible, but you must supervise him. From your house, I was greeted with plastics. When I was entering, greeted with plastics. Everywhere, greeted with food. So when they are saying there will be more plastic than fish, you should not be thinking that it will be divine. It will be human made. And now, thank God, we have done with our clerical, our office work. The Director General Administration is here. So within these 2 weeks, we'll come back. When you do the environmental sanitation day tomorrow, don't allow the mayor to go home. Dedicate 2 weeks. If by 2 weeks the situation is the same, then he shouldn't blame you. The theme for this year's World Environment Day, inspired by nature for climate for our future, is timely and urgent. It calls us to observe our natural world and draw from it the discipline, the patience, the resolve and solution that our environmental challenges demand. And this is what was instilled in us. In our school days, our schools were the Garden of Eden for us. And our teachers made sure that we took care of it. Everybody had a plot to sweep. Everybody had, every section, we were all marked. Do we still do it? What? Yes. Now there's easy life. There's easy life. Everybody wants life easy. But I don't think easy life is what the preachers and the pastors call the wider gate. Anybody who passes through the wider gate will go to. The pastors will tell you. And the narrow gate is the discipline, what God told us to do. So when you see a plastic somewhere, you take it. When you see something somewhere, you take it. That is the narrow gate. We'll come to it. So it is timely and urgent. It calls us to observe our natural world and to draw from it the discipline, the patience, the resolve and solutions that our environmental challenges demand. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme is particularly relevant as Ghana enters the major rainy season. Just June 3rd. As for June, every June 3rd, it will flood. It is not flooding, it's the rainy season. And it's the first biggest rain. So as the gutters are choked, there will be flood. It is not divine. God will not punish us with rain. My earlier presenter did that. Weather forecasts indicate that the likelihood of increased rainfall intensity in several parts of this country is what we should expect ahead. While rainfall remains a blessing for agriculture, water resource, and livelihood, it also exposes the vulnerabilities that persist within many of our communities: inadequate drainage systems, indiscriminate waste disposal, encroachment on waterways, and poorly managed settlements continue to increase. And that one too is the Metropolitan Chief Executive's responsibility. The fiscal planners must enforce the building plans and layout that we have. And when we say Takoradi is dirty, we are not referring to only the mayor. Everybody in the Garden of Eden must care for that Garden of Eden. Increase the exposure of households, businesses, and public infrastructure to flooding and its associated health risk. The consequences are often felt most severely by vulnerable communities, where flooding can disrupt livelihoods, damage property, contaminate water sources, and increase the incidence of sanitation-related diseases. Now, we are seeing Ebola somewhere. We don't want to wait till the time comes before we'll be going back to Veronica Bucket. Now, if you ask somebody, what is Veronica Bucket? Some have forgotten. Hand hygiene, some have forgotten. Anyway, but God says we should care for the Garden of Eden. So, Apostle, on this note, I still continue to commend you and the Church of Pentecost. Pentecost is a homemade church. That's something that Ghanaians have done and sent it to about 211 countries, and they've accepted it. So once Pentecost is taking environmental care seriously, 211 countries are going to implicate it. Let's be proud of ourselves as Ghanaians. Something emanating from here has gone global. This reality reminds us that environmental sanitation is not merely an aesthetic concern. It is a critical component of climate resilience, public health protection, and community safety. This week, we have converged here and rallied around a single unifying concern: the health of our environment, the well-being of our communities that depend on it. This convergence in itself is instructive. Nature, after all, does not operate in silos. When the flood water started from somewhere, somebody started preparing. So when the wastes are being thrown indiscriminately somewhere, everybody must show concern. So this convention is in itself is instructive. Nature, after all, does not operate in silos. Forest depends on rainfall. Rainfall depends on land cover. Land cover gives us many benefits and also reflect the decisions that we make in our communities and institutions. The interdependence that sustains the ecosystem is the same interdependence that this gathering embodies. When we are inspired by nature, we are inspired to collaborate. I'm greatly encouraged by the collaboration between government and the Church of Pentecost. When COVID came, the Church of Pentecost and the GPC led the fight. Now, when flooding has started, the Church of Pentecost was doing the environmental week and the environmental care before the relaunch of the National Sanitation Day. And I therefore call on all faith-based organizations. Apostles, so we have possessed the nation. We are transforming it. That's it. So we are transforming the Garden of Eden. Congrats to the Church of Pentecost. So this collaboration goes to the heart of what we mean when we say that environmental sanitation is everybody's business. This does not mean that the government step aside and let other actors do all the work. No. So, Minister, they are not doing our work for us. Me and you must intensify the supervision. Takoradi, secondly, Takoradi, Western region is the oil city. So you have no excuse. You attract a lot of tourists. You attract a lot of resources, a lot of investment. And therefore, you can set hygiene standards for other regions to copy. So the government of Ghana remains strongly committed to delivering effective environmental sanitation services. Our metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies remain at the forefront. When we are giving the money to the assemblies, we don't give regional ministers some. Local government minister, they don't give me some. Ours is supervision. And when we give you the money and you are not able to do the work, then it means you cannot justify your inclusion. Minister, so So if, no, we don't, regional minister, we don't give them money. We say they should supervise. So when he's coming from his house and you see the sanitation transfer station there, that thing must be relocated. When the president is coming, he comes to your place. When international tourist businessmen are coming, they come to your place. So there can be no waste transfer station just at the entrance of your gate. He doesn't speak well of us. It must be relocated. The mayor must find a new place. Our Metropolitan Municipal and District Assembly remain at the front line of waste management, drainage maintenance, sanitation infrastructure delivery, and environmental health enforcement. Across all levels of government, we remain committed to strengthening environmental governance, improving service delivery, and creating the enabling conditions for communities. The private sector and civil society must also come to contribute effectively. And now we will take this opportunity to announce that government has renewed its commitment to make sure that government honors government obligation on the ARICOPs. The ARICOPs are the integrated waste and recycling and compost plants. We have 17 of such plants in the country. About 25 countries in Africa have come to copy what we have in Ghana. So we can't allow the 17 companies to go waste. And therefore, last month, government paid an amount of 440 million Ghana cedis to Zumila, just one group of companies, to continue to recycle the waste. But he alone cannot recycle all. So when just one is not able to recycle all the waste, where would the rest go? Into the sea. We need a number of recycling plants. And some people are calling for us to ban the plastic waste. Is that the way to go? There was a white woman who came to my office last week. That, minister, you don't need to go to Europe to go and learn how to ban plastic waste. Go to Rwanda. They have done it. To ban or not to ban? That is a question by the time we finish Saturday. You must give us that answer. Your politicians are always afraid of civil disobedience and civil unrest. And democracy has opened the door for everything. We started, when development started, the first packaging was bottle, glass. Is that not the case? Then later they say it cannot get rotten. Then you move to paper. Then later you say because of you care for the environment and it was depleting the forest, you needed a number of trees to be able to create paper. Then you got an easy way. You moved to plastic in the 1970s and 1940s. Here we are. We are being engulfed with plastic. Should we ban plastic? And if you are to ban plastic, from glass to paper to plastic, after plastic, where do we go? And know by the time we leave here, the scholars and the professors will give out the solution. But if you are able to tell us, we the policymakers and legislators, to ban plastic, we will now have the political will to ban it. What you say is what we do. To ban or not to ban? Meanwhile, you are such a water producers. Here you say to ban. But when you go there, we wouldn't know those who said to ban. We should ban it. To ban plastic bags or not to ban. We should ban them. That's Ghanaians. The same people who will say yes. When you ask for no, the same people will say no. It means you are at your own risk. Thank you very much. But that conversation, we must start having it as a country. The white man told me, the white lady told me, that you don't need to go to Europe or to go to America. You need just go Africa here, Rwanda. They have banned plastic bags. And the city is clean. They are greening the environment. And it's better here than when you go to the north. Our life there depends on agriculture. But the plastic bags cannot be rotten. So the agricultural land is losing its fertility because of the excessive plastics that they threw there. So we need to find a solution to it. But we, the politicians, we know this. But we still want to ask you, what do we do? You two, you know. To ban or not to ban? Hey, yo. Thank you very much. That commitment has dedicated a national expression in National Sanitation Day. On the first day of every month, we collectively mobilize our environmental action across every district in Ghana. And tomorrow we are here. I understand the mayor is outside the country on a sanitation assignment. So Takrady Metropolitan Assembly, Sekeni, Efia Kwesiminti, everywhere. The church will mobilize. They are coming to help you. So you must also mobilize your people and communities to support the church's call. Is that clear? Minister, have you done that? Everything is set. But you don't have budget too. So tomorrow, as I'm bringing my speech to an end, I still want to call on everybody to make sure that you take care of your Garden of Eden. That is how we were trained. And that is why, Professor, they are concerned. How did we get it wrong? Does it mean democracy means easy lives? No communal labor. No section for a child to go and take care of. No environmental cleanliness. Meanwhile, you are in the place. Outbreaks of diseases have no barriers. Somebody's negligence can affect you. And that is why tomorrow we must come out in our numbers. Faith-based organizations occupy a distinctive position in Ghana's public life. They reach communities to touch many lives. They command a quality of trust that government institutions take years to earn. Even your own wife will not take your instruction, but when pastor talks, they listen. So as pastors are talking, tomorrow our wives will come out. Our sisters will come out. And we all come out. As for the government institution, Minister, you know, when you are talking, then they ask, is this the fact or is like the lie that the former government official told you? So we too have a work to do on ourselves. But as we partner faith-based organization, the impartation will enter us and the trust will be renewed. Thank God, with President Mahama in the seat, now all public institutions, those who were not getting profit are now getting profit. Those who were being collapsed are now being reactivated. So the faith must itself come. As I told you today, I had every opportunity to take excuse that I'm in far away, Bruno. But if it were to be President Mahama, he would have come. So me too, I must learn from the leader. And that's why after the program, 9 p.m., yesterday in the night, I took my car by road, no flight. I've gotten here. We are all learning from the leader. And students, you must also learn from us. This is not how it was. It was better than this. In the 60s, Ghana was well planned. Building regulations were obeyed. The city was clean. And from one line, you could see up to the end. Now, everywhere has become slum. Another white lady told me last week that the heat waves in Ghana is increasing. I, as a minister for local government, my attention was not drawn to it. But the white lady said, there is increase in heat waves. But she's coming from France. She's been able to detect that Ghana, the temperatures are increasing. What is the cause? The professor who did the research, you have to research into that and give it to her. It will be translated into policy. Is the increase in containers where we are supposed to plant trees. We assemblies demarcate it and give permit for containers to be put there. Is that the cause of the increasing heat waves? The cutting of all the green trees in the cities. No parks. Is that the cause of the heat waves? We need to do empirical research. Then we, the policymakers, will base on that and bring a legislation which will be enforced, because lawmaking must be participatory. The defects in the society must give way, must be translated into the laws. So that when people are talking, you say that we demanded for it and they have done it. It shouldn't be always the politicians coming to say, nobody should bring a container here. Nobody should do this. No. Let the law emanate from the grassroots and we'll be able to enforce them. So as they mobilize people in large numbers around a shared conviction, Ghana's environmental governance always will have to be strengthened with faith-based communities who treat environmental stewardship not merely as a civic duty, but as a moral and spiritual obligation. And the presenter did that one clearly. We all saw it. Among our faith-based institutions, the Church of Pentecost has moved decisively from participation to initiatives. We, as a government institution, most of the policies are always initiated by them. Then we can partner. I call on other faith-based organizations to copy same, because we were all created into the Garden of Eden, and God told all of us to care for it. And Ananum brought a myth surrounding that this is a sacred grove. You don't farm here, because this is where we get our oxygen. Now we have broken all. Then we go and say the last 3 dies, the last man dies. It is that its institutional character, it reflects a settled conviction that creation care and community development are inseparable. And I've quoted a biblical verse to support this. The events undertaken during this week, this year's World Environment Day, spearheaded by the Church of Pentecost, is the fullest expression of the character. Wednesday outreach into schools planted environmental awareness in the minds of our young people. Thursday's tree planting with the Forestry Commission was a physical act of restoration. And when the church are talking of restoration, they know what they mean. When Adam fell, he still had to depend on the forest to go and cut plantain cover to come under his waist. So the environment, whether you are alive or you are dead or you fall or you are not falling, you still depend on the environment. So Thursday tree planting with the Forestry Commission was a physical act of restoration, a promise made to the land that we will not just take without giving back. When you take from the land, you must give back to the land. This morning's gathering offers us a chance to pause and reflect on what the environment means to us and to recommit ourselves to the work that is needed to build a sustainable environment for generations to come. So when our chiefs and pastors and leaders are saying that let's take care of the environment, they are thinking of the next generation. And it is our responsibility to listen to what they say and to support it. By so doing, we will be able to take care of it. Saturday's cleanup, and that is tomorrow, in collaboration with the Sekeni Takoradi Metropolitan Assembly, is where knowledge becomes action. We all learn. I'm a writer, I'm a publisher, I'm the author of the Flamingo books. Yes, I started writing at the age of 29. Now I'm 52. And I still write. Professor, I've written a lot of books for them to read. Scholars were calling for government to include hygiene and sanitation in the curriculum. It is in need. Environmental sanitation is in need. How to take care of industrial waste, domestic waste, air pollution, water pollution. Are they not in the environmental? Are they not in your books? Have you not learned them? Are you implementing them? The solution. So they call the scholars to say, oh, we must include this in the curriculum. The children must be taught. Apostle, they are taught. And the past questions, examiners always ask questions in that area. What is the best way of treating waste? Then they bring those, then the answer is recycling. Then when we learn that when we say recycling, then we come. Do we recycle? No. Even from junior high school, we were taught this. From primary, we were taught this. The problem is not the knowledge, it's the implementation and the enforcement. And I believe parent-teacher association must be reactivated to take the children into the schools and teach them. It will be done. The focus on drains is particularly important. And this time of the year, every drain clear in the waterway, protect obstruction of flooding and everything and the risk affected. Let me also acknowledge Coordination Foundation for its partnership in this year's program. And I was happy and listened to the presentation decisively. Government has always collaborated closely with civil society to drive environmental action. May this partnership continue to bloom in the coming year. World Environmental Day is commemorated on the 5th of every June, 5th of June every year, and government will continue to anchor this on National Sanitation Day. Meaningful progress will require strong partnership, anchored in the collective determination to deliver tangible, positive outcomes for our communities. The government of Ghana remains committed to that work. And on the evidence of this week, so we do as partners gathered here in this room to be able to make sure that we have evidence-based presentations and evidence-based action on Saturday. On this note, Professor Chairman, Apostle Chairman, my brother, the regional minister, tomorrow I'll be here and I'll come and partner with you. Your MMDC, they'll be very hot. Nobody will wear suit. It will be t-shirt for the 2 weeks, working chairs for the 2 weeks. But I plead with our revered chiefs, you will lead the front. Because people listen to you and the pastors. For us, sometimes they doubt. Are you sure? For us, sometimes they doubt. Because we are two brothers from different sides. Are you sure yesterday's falsehood is not what we are repeating? What is the formula to prove that this truth is different from that falsehood? So for us, we want you to take the lead. Then we make Western region the standard bearer for other regions. June 4th was in my constituency. The chiefs of the district organized 2 weeks sanitation because they knew everybody was coming there. 2 weeks. And when I went there, the atmosphere, it was like I was in South Korea. Everywhere green, every bushy place weeded, all the gutters desilted, everywhere. The oxygen that I was breathing reminds me that I was on a different planet. Then when later I was interacting with the leaders of the delegations from Accra, they said, oh, Minister, your district is very neat. When I go on retirement, I'll come and put up my house here. And I told myself, so when I was to address the public, I was forced to prove that, it was Nananom who led the communal labor. And June 4th stands for communal labor. Self-help, progress. So they did it, and the place is neat. So Nananom, we cannot do it without you. No minister, no DCE, no government official can fight sanitation without the chiefs. You can't. The land belongs to the chief. The people listen to them. Everybody listen to them. Then the pastors, whatever they say, because they are linked to God. Everything they say, they listen to them. So tomorrow we'll count on you. And in the next 2 weeks, immediately I'll go to Accra, I'll design a program. We are coming here, Dela. We'll come here. Minister, these 2 weeks we are here with you. So tell them, they'll be very hot. Well, I'm not happy what I'm seeing. And I'm not what the president said MDAs have failed. Where are the MDAs? It's you and me. So when you are seated and I'm seated there, and they say MDAs have failed, it means why we miss my way. Is that not the explanation? So Della, you come. You are saying I shouldn't say it. Me, I'll say it. So these 2 weeks we'll come here. And when we come, Professor will come to your office. Tell all the chiefs that we beg them. For 2 weeks, we must clean it so that when we go, the MCEs will continue. Zoom Lion used to do it. Government said, give the money to the MCEs, they will do the work. And we are giving you the money. 88%. This year, 91%. So if you don't do it, do we blame Zoom Lion or we blame you? It's you who blame. You are not doing it. What are you using the money for? It's a fact. If you can't do it, then you tell us we can't do it. Then we revert back to Zoom Lion. But you are leaving the people in suspense. They are blaming Zoom Lion. Meanwhile, the money, you are sitting on the money. Is it right? Thank you. On this note, I thank Apostle Nana and Apostle Professor and everybody in the room for giving me the opportunity. May God bless us all. I will meet you on the National Sanitation Day tomorrow. Apostle, what time? 10 o'clock. No, 10 will be too late. If you can't 10 o'clock, you will not meet anybody there. 6 o'clock. And everybody, the military, your group will be there. The fire service, your group will be there. The police, your group will be there. Police, your group will be there. Fire service, you come with your fire. Yes. You do it in the neater way. Do it for the mayor to know that you can do it. And because God is here, is that not what the presenter said? Tomorrow's own will be different. Thank you very much.
Let's give him another round of applause. That was a detailed, very educative speech. We are most grateful, Honorable. So the discourse continues, and we've heard from the clergy, we've heard from policymakers. Surely we cannot leave without hearing from the traditional leaders. I think it's about time we get reminded of some sacred rules that were applicable then in Ghana that kept the environment clean and healthy for us. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome to the podium our very own Nana Kobina Nkatia to give us ways to sustain the environment from the traditional perspective. Keep clapping, please.
Oh, no. I don't even know what to say. We've had very excellent speeches this morning. And as I was sitting there, I was trying to take notes. Unfortunately, the program that I was trying to write on was quite slippery. I don't know what to say, shiny, so the pen wouldn't go on. But let's start with what the Omahin of, where's the Omahin? TTU, where's the Omahin? He is gone. Or he can't be deputy Omahin. You know, I always call the vice chancellors, if you know, they are the Omahini of the university of this space. So I always refer to him that way. We've had all the protocols. I was very happy that Honorable Ibrahim was introduced because most of you didn't recognize him when he came. My own special son, Honorable Nelson, he's the one to be speaking because he speaks so well without written notes. when they give him the chance to say his mind, he does it so well that I sit there and said, where does this guy get his wisdom from? I thought he learned it from me, but this one, he goes beyond me. All right. Anyway, standing on the existing protocols, good afternoon. I didn't hear you right. Good afternoon. Okay. When the professor from Stellenbosch was speaking, I really did enjoy you. And I couldn't believe that a religious man will be talking about spirituality. So I was wondering how you managed the two. And then you went on and talking about Ubuntu, just in xenophobia. He says, no, Ubuntu has brought us low, not taking us up. So I was laughing that he came in from South Africa, but they've done very well with their indigenous studies compared to us. So that was a very interesting paper. And then my own son, Xavier, when he was talking about the 3 R's, I said, doesn't he know that in our culture we have 3 R's? The 3 R's are to do with responsibility. Every phase of our existence is a responsible space. Every phase. It's not a right. We don't live by rights. We live by responsibility, and that is embedded in Ubuntu. Secondly, the second R is relativity. We are related to everything about us. I'm related to you just like you're related to me. It's just that you don't think too much about it. And lastly, the third R is based on respect. I leave that for your meditations. But this is also embossed or embedded by the 3 C's: collectivity, communality, and cooperation. So the 3 R's, but I've added the 3 C's. Unfortunately, as I think you said it when we were talking, our education, I remember Basil Davidson writing that when you enter any school in Africa, in front of the black man's bird in Amma, right? In front of the school, it is written, abandon all Africa. That is the price for what we are paying with the environmental thing, because the Western education divides us. It doesn't bring us together. But our ancestors taught us that we are all one. And anything that happens to your brother is happening to you. That is why we are paying the price. I mean, once you are divided, you're always weak. Divide impera, divide and rule. And that has been them. So listening to you, listening to the Honorable Minister, I've been sitting there smiling, but I wasn't expecting to talk. So when they came to tell me that, oh, no, you have to say a few words, I felt a bit sad, that I have to share some of these words with you. Now, there is something all of you sitting here must ask yourself. Don't do it now. It's a very, 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 very difficult question, and was fired by the fire, Ignatius. I was wondering why he's called Ignatius. This black man sitting here, dark as myself, of Franue Ignatius. Why? Can you tell me? He's going to laugh at me. Why haven't you changed it? We had a vice president who was called William Edmond Davidson Emisatha, and he changed his name to Kwesi Bekwin. And you don't want to change it. No, there's a reason why I'm asking. You see, ontologically, our being, are you African? There's a difference between thinking that you are African and being African. I am now learning to be African, and it's not easy. It is not easy. You have to rise above the filth of Westernisms, the divisions that are there. So the environment. I'm sure that you're here. Get the schools to watch Avatar. It came out in 2009 or thereabouts. Get them to watch Avatar. Somebody took me, Nana, this is for you. At that time, I thought I was African, but I wasn't that African conscious. All the mysticism they are talking about is the signs of our ancestors. It is not belief. Belief is based on ignorance. Never forget that. When you say, I believe, you are affirming the fact that you are ignorant. But when you know, then you know that maybe you're doing this because of some mistake thing about it. A lot of people do not go into the science of our ancestors. And therefore, they don't know what the environment means. Being eco-conscious is me. I know what is in and out of my space. I am my space, and my space is me. Destroy me, and you're destroying my space. Destroy my space, and you're destroying me. And that's why the Honorable Minister said something quite interesting. Cut the last tree, and the last man dies. You've been taught sciences, and I hope you listen carefully. When you go ask your science teachers, why is it that almost everything in this world, whether it's the fly, whether it's the fish, whether it's the bird, whether it's the animal, or whether it's you have 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 2 ears. Why? Oh, my friend, I didn't know you were here. You should see me at home. Eh? You know, these are things, you walk around them without thinking. You are not conscious of these things. And that is why you're not conscious about the environment. The environment is my pharmacopoeia. My ancestors lived every tree, you talk about God's creation. You think that God created things for nothing? Every leaf has a meaning in your life. And this is what you need to discover. Every leaf, every root, every bark. You think that you're destroying the tree because somebody comes and calls it a tree. No. Yimpa nidia. Yimpa no kite dia. This is the human tree. I'm a spirit having a human experience as an African. Maybe I'm becoming too deep for the young ones. So it's just to challenge your mind. Don't run away from yourselves. Be African. And you see that things fall into place. When the Honorable Minister was speaking, I was sitting here laughing because most of you go into these kind of politics of NDC. And what does it mean in your language? Nothing. We are one. And as a chief, you always think collectively. We, not I. And the day you learn to drop the I and go into we, then you've arrived. I'm still trying to arrive. And that's why I was making fun of Ignatius. Did you hear him? Please give him a clap. He says he's going to change it. So we do not really need the UN or something to do a World Environmental Day before we realize that we must always be eco-conscious. It is part of our consciousness as Africans. However, we also need these days to remind us about who we are. And that is the beauty of today. And I thank TTU especially, and also thank my children, Core Nation. I was wondering when they came out, just said, these guys, I've not heard them from them for about 10 years. Then suddenly they invite me for this. And apart from TTU, you know, people invite chiefs to be embroideries at places. So I was just asking myself, do they want me to come and be an embroidery? And I'm sorry, I see how you are dressed. Very colorful. So I said, well, I was invited wearing a smock, like I'm a sit down, wearing a fugu, and not putting on all these blankets that chiefs wear, then you'll be sweating all the time. But please be eco-conscious. You are clean people. You don't need somebody to come and tell you you are dirty. Cleanliness is part of our existence right from birth. Ask any mother when she's going to give birth. See how she reacts. Spring cleaning the whole area. And that is us. But we seem to forget who we are. So in a way, we are going back. When the Honorable Minister was talking about the generational thing, I've said it in this hall before. If in a nanum na yako na nanum. Oh, muna nanum yo. And the one who is an animal will say, "Oh, me, I'm an animal. What are we leaving behind for those who are coming after us?" That should be our constant thinking. Somebody is coming to do an investment in your area, be happy. But what is the person going to invest? Is the investment going to enhance the environment? Is it going to enhance your well-being, or just extractive that most of us are not even aware of? So you need to redefine the world from your own point of view as you become eco-conscious. But it's a great day, whatever it is. And I'm glad I have so many young people here. Now let's do something before I go and sit down. I want you to repeat after me, and it will stay in your head when you go back to your school. We are Africans. We are Africans. Oh, Charlie, what's if Fiji as one our boys are low? St. John's Waha. Please let it be louder. We are Africans. Thank you.
Of course, we are Africans. Thank you very much, Nana. Nana will always leave traces of his footsteps behind whenever he speaks. I hope we have been well educated. We are still continuing. We take 5 minutes keynotes or short notes from Mr. Asari from EPA. Mr. Asari from EPA. Okay, so we'll continue with the regional manager for Minerals Commission. Is he around? Yes. Just a remark, yes. 2 minutes.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, Honorable Ibrahim, and my own father, Western Regional Minister, Honorable Joseph Nelson. I think Nana Kwabranka the fifth has gone out. Prof. Frank Christian is also gone out. Chairman of Pentecostal Church. As Commission, we thank you so much for bringing all stakeholders together today for this important event. Commission has been instrumental when it comes to environment. We, as a regulator in charge of mining sector, we have done a lot in sustaining the environment in one way or the other behind the scenes. The only challenge we face, as we all know, is the illegal mining in Galamsey, which is not on Commission alone, and it has become a global challenge. With the help of all our brother institutions, Forestry Commission, EPA, Lands Commission, Water Resources Commission, we are doing our best to sustain the environment. Government has employed about 2,500 river gas to help sustain and protect our river bodies, which Commission is paying. These 2,000 river gas in amount, we are paying over 5 million Ghana cedis every month. We are also supporting NIMOS in fighting various illegal mining activities on our river bodies, our forests, and our lands. We know this program is a very educative one, and we have learned a lot from this program today. There are a number of takeaways that we are also going to share with our team. And we thank all stakeholders, all participants, the speakers especially, for the insights today. We hope that moving forward, we'll take wherever we are as our Garden of Eden. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We will also take a few words from Mr. Mwakun. Yes, the EPA rep.
Good afternoon. My name is George Ofuswa Mwakun. I'm with the EPA. I continue with the existing protocols already established. We as an authority, I think from last year we became an authority. We took a transition from agency to authority. And that means our responsibility has also increased. And now we have been given the mandate to play a leading role when it comes to all matters related to climate change. So with a global team that focuses on climate and focuses on our future, I think we are playing much role. And we are not playing it alone. It's a leading responsibility. So we are playing with every citizen of the country. The earth, the planet is showing signals that we need to pay attention to. As far as the human health, the public health is concerned, when there are signals of something wrong with our body, I believe we all make a necessary effort to correct it. The planet is also showing signals which we must all pay attention and correct. As an institution, I think there was a press release beginning of this year with regards to ban on styrofoam, and that has become a topic of concern. Yes, EPA starting from 1st January 2027, by the powers invested in us by the president, we are mandated to take that or implement that what was made by the president last year, same day on World Environment Day. We are taking that as a gradual step. We don't want to enforce that in the quickest action because we believe that importers and manufacturers have brought that a lot into the country. So we want to give time to exhaust that before then we implement it fully. That is next year. So if you happen to enter into such business, we are going to implement the ban. Let's do well to incorporate that. Wherever you find yourself, the ban will come into full insertion 1st January 2027. We are banning all takeaway packages, all plastic products, single-use plastics are no longer going to be in use. Yeah. So that is a very strong statement from us, and we need your support. That is why the law mandates us to take the lead role. We need your support. Wherever you find yourself, let's start implementing that. Let's start using biodegradable products. The single-use plastics takes a very long time to degrade, and it's not helping us. Even in terms of its usage, our health is compromised. It contains certain minute components that are carcinogenic. With time, our future generation, who are supposed to take the role of sustainable or sustainability, are going to be endangered. Let's all come on board and then champion this as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mwakun. Obviously, we cannot continue without hearing from the overseer of Western Region, the Regional Minister, Honorable Joseph Nelson. When the set minister was speaking, a lot of reference were made to him, and obviously, we must hear from him. What's the plan for tomorrow? Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, my sister. I want to also continue on the protocol already established. My dad, you pushed me to speak, of course. My minister, Honorable Minister for Local Government, thank you for your presence in the region. We appreciate you. This is also to let you know that over time, I've been working closely with Apostle and the Pentecost Church to see how we can bring improvement to our areas. I'm excited to be part of this program, even more so by all the submissions that have been made by the speakers. Very insightful, very inspiring. But there's one thing we must all take away from here. It is a fact that the non-action we see around is not for lack of knowledge. Every single one in this room knows about the need to keep the environment clean. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And so, but you see, what I've observed over the period that I've been in office is the usual Ghanaian attitude. Oya ban. And so we cocoon ourselves into some spaces, leaving our responsibilities to, public officers, especially the MMDCs, ministers. Is anybody here from the STMA? Okay. Right. Now, Honorable Minister, your words and your observations about the STMA very well noted. Those of you who have followed me, only last week at the Ramadan, I went public on the STMA about how waste is managed in the city. And some thought I was harsh on the MC and the assembly, but I did so because about 3 weeks ago, I convened a meeting of ECMA and STMA authorities, including the 2 MCEs, and gave them straight instructions about the need to improve sanitation in the city. When it takes Secondary Takoradi, it's a combination of ECMA and the STMA. And after everything, they promised that they were going to improve on the situation. Last week at the Ramadan, I visited the mosque in Takoradi. And when I was engaging the media, I had to put it out that enough is enough. We must see action in the city. And Minister, you came in today, you've also made similar observations. So the ball is in the court of the officers. They know what consequences will follow if we don't see improvement. And so back to the issue of responsibility. Now we've moved from the stage of not knowing what to do specifically. Now all of us know what to do. The question is, what are we going to do as individuals, as corporate? And wherever you find yourself in this country, whether in the church, in chieftaincy, I know Nananum do their bit, but as students and everybody on the face of this place called Ghana, and we are in Western region, so let me limit myself to here. The issue is about how you and I will be responsible to the environment and really get up to do what is needed. The state has a role, of course. A lot has been said about it. Every evening, I drive around the market circle. I drive myself every evening. And around the perimeter, the circle, you see people who have made, gathered waste from their homes and dumped around. You bear me out. Those of you who have observed, you bear me out. These are done by individuals. Every evening I observe that. I've told the mayor that something must be put in place because you see, society is evolving. Today there's technology. Instead of technology helping us to even improve on our lives, we are making things worse. And so we have to do something individually, as a collective. And of course, the last thing I'll talk about is about sanctions. Enforcement. Everybody in this room loves nice things. And Ghanaians, when we see nice things, we love good things. Good things don't come cheap. For those of you who have come close to me, I always say this, that today we sit here, we're able to see what is happening on the other side, in Europe, in the Americas. And then you even yearn to go out there because you love what you see. Those things that you see have not dropped from the skies. They've been done by residents in these areas. And I usually add that the people you see out there, majority of them do not even believe in the Bible that we believe in this country. Most of them are not Christians. Neither are they Muslims. So you flip the coin. Why is it that we go to church? Almost in this room, I believe that if we were to go around and ask about where we belong, whether we are Muslims or Christians, I'm sure in this room there will be majority that will say they are Christians who go to church every Sunday. And yet, we do the wrong things. You go to the other side, the Christians are in the minority. They do the right things. What lessons are we learning from this? And so, the ball is in our court. I believe that next year, God willing, we'll gather again. But before we come here, every single one of us must leave this room with a certain burden and responsibility that you are going to do something about the environment. Whether it's about waste management from your home, the school environment, wherever you find yourself. I think that if we all do our bit, this country will be better for it. But Minister, before I sit down, let me promise you that things will change. And I told them 3 weeks ago that in 2 weeks, if I don't see change, I have my own solution. And that solution will soon come. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Regional Minister. Honorable Nelson. We are still taking some nuggets from stakeholders, and so we'd like to hear from the manager, Community Relations for Petroleum Commission, Nana Ekwa Sechua Daku. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good afternoon to all of us once again. Nana Nom, our distinguished minister, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be brief on this. I bring you greetings from the Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Commission in the person of Madame MFA Hardcastle, staff and then management of the Commission. As you may be aware, Petroleum Commission is the regulator of Ghana's upstream petroleum sector. And as a commission over the years, we have not been left out in the environmental stewardship. As a matter of fact, we are committed in environmental stewardship. This we've not done alone. We've done this in partnership with Corp Nation and Yinson Production West Africa Limited. Over the years, as a commission, we have planted over 1,000 seedlings. The very recent one we did was last year at Apawai Secondary School, Boys Secondary School. We've done some in Jowolo, in Accra, Petroleum Commission premises, and then other areas within the oil host communities in the Western region. One may ask, Petroleum Commission and then tree planting, what is the correlation? The correlation is because we are also agency of development. We work with most stakeholders, the Fisheries Commission, we work with the Ghana National Canoe Fishermen Council, and in the oil host communities because we have presence there. But I would appeal to heads of institutions and agencies here that every year when we gather to do or undertake the tree planting exercise, when we leave off from there, we expect you to also continue to ensure and then manage the seedlings that we've planted. We do not want to come back and go for monitoring and then see that the seedlings or the tree that we planted have been left in the bushes. So please, we crave your indulgence. Let us ensure that when we undertake these exercises and we leave and go, we'll come back to see the trees growing beautifully so that tomorrow we'll all benefit from it. Apart from that, last year as a commission, we also undertook a major landmark project at the upper and the lower Discove landing beaches. We all went down into the communities, went into the gutters, we did a cleanup, and then it didn't end from there. After the cleanup, what did we do? We invested in fabrication and handing over of 4 receptacles for the communities. And so what we are asking is that they collect the recycled materials, put or store into the receptacles, and then corporation will come for them and then recycle. We don't want it to end there. So we are also involved in recycling to ensure that at the end of the day, we rid our oceans of filth. In our communication and conversations with Fisheries Commission and then the Ghana National Canoe and Fishermen Council, we make a simple analogy. How many plastic or sachet water do they take to sea? So for instance, if we look at the 6 coastal districts in the Western region, if every landing beach is taking, let's say 4 canoes go in a day from Shama up onto Half Asleep. Let's assume that we have only 4. And out of the 4, every 4 is taking 4 sachets of water. How many bags of water? How many do we have in there? 30 by 4. Multiply by the number of fishing communities up onto Half Asleep. Let's assume that it is 100 in a week. 100 in a week times these canoes that go out at sea. When they are done, let's ask ourselves, what happens to the sachet water? They don't bring it back. They leave it in the ocean. And at the end of the day, they come and complain about depletion of fish stock. So as a commission, since they are also our stakeholders, we engage them on the need to return back ashore with the sachet water. So we crave your indulgence that the conversation doesn't end from here. It is a collective effort from all of us. Let's be mindful of what we do in our environment so that tomorrow our generation, the next generations, and generations yet unborn will benefit from Mother Earth. Thank you all for making time for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Daako. So we are gradually closing up on the nuggets, the keynotes. We would want to also hear from the education sector. A lot of reference were made to curriculum. I remember those of us born in the early 80s and backwards, we had a course in school that was labeled as environmental studies. And they taught a lot of things. I don't know what is happening now. Minister mentioned that most of his books have some of these knowledge in there. We would want to hear from the director for GES on what the education intends to do in sustaining the environment. Let's welcome Mr. Emmanuel Isuman. 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I've been given 2 minutes, so I'll make sure I go by that time. we all know the challenge that comes along with environmental and climate. So protecting the climate is not an environmental, it's not only an environmental factor. It is a responsibility for education and development. So when students learn about climate change and sustainability, they gain knowledge. When schools also practice environmental responsibility, they also gain habit. We as Ghana Education Service, in fact, about 2 months ago, we had a meeting with all the 16 regional directors and the management of Ghana Education Service at the headquarters concerning this particular issue, how we should ensure that all schools from the primary schools, JHS, form climate change clubs and ensure that they learn this attribute to ensure they are responsible about the environment that they live in. And as the minister said, it's the Garden of Eden. So already, Ghana Education Service, we've set the ball rolling that all schools, basic schools in Ghana, they have formed climate change clubs. So on behalf of the service, from the Director General of Ghana Education Service, in fact, my predecessor at this region started a program, Pick As You Go, and it's all over the schools in this region. And I want to take this opportunity to assure all of us here, from the KG up to the secondary school level where I supervise, we want to every student be responsible of the Garden of Eden that we live in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Suman. And finally, we will take a few notes or a few words from Professor Bento. He is an associate professor in environmental engineering.
Good afternoon. Permit me to associate myself with the established protocol to make some few remarks. I feel a bit exonerated today because some few months ago, I made a remark here and it attracted some misfeelings. But for the purposes of this engagement, let me go straightly according to my script so that I don't throw any bomb here again. When you read the good book, I mean the Holy Bible, in Genesis 8:22, it says that while the earth remains, seed time and harvest time, winter and cold, hot and summertime, day and night will never cease. God promised us seasons, but today the seasons are changing. The rains come late, the sun burns hotter, the floods are rising higher. We are all vulnerable. We are all exposed to danger. Why? Because of where we live. We are living on water courses. Why? Because of what we do. We are burdened on water courses. We are cutting down trees. We are disposing of waste irresponsibly. And what we have lost. Our lands are being degraded. Our river bodies are being polluted. Our trees are being chopped off. Our soil flora and fauna are being extincted. So we are all vulnerable species on the planet Earth. Who are suffering? Farmers are suffering because of unpredictable rainfalls. When the farmers suffer, you and I also suffers because it is going to result in poor food production. The fisherman will also suffer because 11 million tons of plastic waste are being disposed of annually into the oceans. So at a point, the fishes in our oceans are going to die. Climate change has come to stay with us. We are vulnerable, but we need to adapt. Noah built an ark before the rain set in. The ants gathered its food before the drought comes in. So what is the way forward? As academicians, we should turn our classrooms to living laboratories to ensure that our children, our students, goes out with environmental consciousness. To the community, we should encourage eco-procurement. Don't buy anything that destroys what the Lord has made. We should encourage eco-consumption. Even Jesus Christ, when we read John 6:12, he said, gather all the remnants so that nothing gets lost. So Jesus Christ even practiced proper waste management. We should ensure that we practice proper waste management in our communities. Because when you read Romans 8:22, it says the whole world is groaning. You and I are crying. You and I are fearing what the tomorrow holds for us. Because we sleep overnight and the rain falls. We don't know whether our houses are going to be flooded. We burn waste. Emissions are going to the atmosphere. We are experiencing acid rainfall. Why don't we harvest rainfall? So farmers must encourage to be planting crops that will ensure that we have enough rainfall. We should discourage the chopping down of our trees. Deforestation must be banned by the Forestry Commission. To the community, when you go wherever you are, you being students, stakeholders present, wherever you are, be a champion of environmental sustainability. Don't let us leave it to only the law enforcement agencies. Even though they have a responsibility, I'm happy the minister said sanctions and reinforcement of our laws. Let's be responsible enough. Let's be accountable to ourselves. Let's be accountable to our society. And let's be accountable to our pay masters. So in conclusion, I will say that vulnerability asks how weak we are. Adaptability answers, but how wise will we be? Climate is changing. Our calling is not work it and keep it, as in Genesis 2, but let us adapt so that seed time and harvest will truly not cease for generations yet unborn. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Bento. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. We've done well. So we are gradually coming to the end of the program, but we cannot go without acknowledging some students or some schools that participated in an environmental quiz or quiz competition organized by organized on environmental stewardship in Ghana, and it was organized at the Church of Pentecost new site on June 2nd, 2026. We will award some students or the schools that participated, and then award the schools that competed and won. Okay. So this citation is a citation of excellence in environmental stewardship, and it's
Nwura
goes to
wa
Jai
yesika
Senior
enya
High
combination
School.
anka menyim do nwura mpo oyesika so say the nwura so obi anyim do nwura obi anyi wo do nwura besi e besi
I'd like to
call
call Apostle Dr.
why many de bebre dem mo bole wa mama envelope wom oya my daughter da mama ka Mr. the mo bua no me de sidan na china bi ma tro ho Corp Nation Foundation Initiative na wa mama tu me si oh Aiska
Ibu wa wako ni mswa, that's been simple. On phone two. No we je ma to phone. Plastic ones, bottle ones dey. No me na we ko gates no. Nto ma nso tope. No gates no wa flat. I'm so interested.
Nso bi anfa no hyem na se wode. Enyama wode besisi wode. Yemfa nwura no ngoma. Mama yemfa yemde mu nwura. Mama yemfa yemgo mu nwura. Emfa mbogum. Na oyema ntam so a wo baba fa na chede yer say dwumadina anasusu pa na wo kada wo de baba boy yen gota sia wa lock no fie na nkasa mesiafo egom ha na ye kan mo boda baba no bibi temele fa gata mi di mo no nsu ya ba ato achen o se na hari afa nda bola mi fi de say Robert ye ni na akol ifi bia lemba ikrom ntuma someone one wa do abaka ndo ba ya me so.
Nwura oh nyame so wana for our initiative nyame so ya amen amen.
I'm a pastor, so I greet praise the Lord. Fantastic. It's a very beautiful day, and we are so grateful to God that the weeks and months of planning and praying have yielded some very significant fruits. This started in a very small room with the chairman and the general secretary, and we are grateful that this is how far the Lord has brought us. To God be the glory. Shake a brother, shake a sister by your left, by your right, and celebrate him, celebrate her. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Let's just remind ourselves that the World Environment Day is just a day to remind ourselves, to raise awareness, and to inspire each one of us to act responsibly towards environmental sustainability. And therefore, beyond this day, take a climate action that will inure to the benefits of the environment. So let's not just do a one-day event and then let it go. Beyond today, on your birthday, plant a tree. On your wedding anniversary, plant a tree. Do something that will bless the earth and make it sustainable for generations to come. After this meeting, we will do a commemorative tree planting with our dignitaries. So we have found a space on the TTU campus we've gotten some seedlings, so we will humbly ask our dignitaries to join us for a very short ceremony on that one. We'll take some short photos right here for dignitaries, so kindly take note of that. Tomorrow is a mammoth cleanup exercise. I can't say enough with the way I've just said it. I can't say enough, or I can't say more than what the sector minister and then the regional ministers have said. But just to give you the directions, electoral areas, it's a first Saturday of every month. National Sanitation Day is first Saturday of every month. It is a community responsibility. The slogan is a clean environment, our responsibility. Can you say that? A clean environment? So it's not about the municipal assembly or the metro assembly. It is our entire responsibility. Churches, market women, traders, everybody is supposed to be involved. And that is why in all the electoral areas, the assembly members are supposed to be leading the cleanup exercises. But for the places where our fathers will go, we are going to the central business districts. The big runabout that has about 8 outlets. We all gather there by 6 a.m., come with a broom, come with a shovel, come with a headpan, come with gloves, come with whatever you can, and let us clean the place to the glory of God. There are 8, so we gather and then we divide ourselves into about 8 groups, and then we would move into those spaces. Additionally, as part of the World Environment Day celebration collaboration, there will be cleanup exercises in 3 beaches, Adwoa, and then New Amanford, and then Funko. So all those places, we have already mobilized people who will be there and then help us with the cleaning. But if time permits, minister may pass there as well, but we may specifically focus right here at the Central District, Business District. Please, let's all come out in our numbers and then join the cleanup exercises. Thank you very much, and God richly bless all of us.
Thank you very much, Apostle Doctor. So we'll take the closing remarks from the chairperson, and in the stead of the chairperson is my very own Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Ebenezer Boakye. And As he gives his remarks, I'm sure he will also share a few nuggets on the issue for the day. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Permit me to stand on the existing protocols. Usually when I see congregation like this, I don't know whether I should put on the garment of a pastor or as a pro-vice chancellor. So I will join you to say praise the Lord. Okay, so thank you so much. World Environment Day. First, I want to stand in the stead of my vice chancellor to thank the Church of Pentecost. When we had a letter for this collaboration, we deemed it very high. That's why we need to set up a committee to collaborate with you for this purpose. And we appreciate the committee chaired by Professor Gladys Cote for this work being done. We thank all the collaborators for this wonderful work done. And today we have listened a lot. We have learned a lot on our environment. What we are seeing here as partnership between us is not mere collaboration, but an evidence that the environment, as Nana said, as the minister said, is for all of us and it's our space. And we need and must keep our space. Minister said that this is our Garden of Eden. So we have the responsibility to keep our Garden of Eden. We have worked. Corp Nation talked about 4 R's. Nana came and said that we're talking about 3 general R's. We start with responsibility. And that's key. This morning, I was listening to Peace FM, talking. So I was telling my security man that after we have talked all this while and we do everything, then we go back and sit down with the people and go and take beer. What do we do? It's the action that matters. So I'm very happy with our original minister's approach, that he's now taking action, that something needs to be done. The truth is that the talking has become so much. And like the original minister said, many of us knows what to do. But we are not taking the responsibility. And those of us who have traveled outside, the system makes you disciplined. So even if you are not disciplined, the system will make you disciplined. I remember the first time I went to UK and I felt that I needed to pass water. And I said, I can't get any place because you can't go and stand anywhere. Because at that time I didn't know that you needed to, you can enter into every shop, right, and then use the place. And I really suffered that day. But you cannot go and stand anywhere and use the place. Our systems rather promote indiscipline. And that is why what I also beg on our minister. That's why policymakers need to come in. We need to come out with certain that will promote discipline. That even if there are certain times that people drop things and then you ask them to pick it. Say, if I pick it, what will Zoom Lion people do? Very irresponsible. So the first R, Nana, is the responsibility. Over there, you walk 50 meters, 100 meters, and you see a bin that you can dump something in. Here, you can carry your things in your pocket for miles. So we all have the responsibility to work. We must do something. We must do something. And Nana and then the ministers, I want to assure you that for academia, we are always ready to collaborate with industry to work. As the sector minister was talking about heat waves being increased, I have supervised a lot of projects, assessed a lot of projects on where we have the estimates. The time has come for the industry government to now break the gap so that what students researchers research into, the industry can pick it up for implementation. And that's the only way academia becomes relevant in the community. So, Regional Minister, we have been charged, and we will collaborate with you to work on the charge. And I want to say that thank you to every one of us coming. Nana Kobran Ketia, you have been a very good friend to Takwa Adetanka University. And anytime you are here, we have been worrying you. Regional Minister, Very wonderful. I want to stand in the seat of the Vice Chancellor to appreciate you so much. Several programs we invite you, and you always avail yourself to be here. We want to thank all of you for being here. We hope that what we have learned, we are going to now share it with other people. We are going to act on it. I am interested in the action, not so much in the talking. Here in TTU, we have a slogan. You drop it, you pick it. Drop it, you pick it. That's the slogan we use in our TTU campus here. And that's what we need to do everywhere in our country so that we keep the country safe and clean. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful that I am the MC for today. My name is Jerry T. Mensah. I would want to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not goodbye, but it is the commission. Go and plant something. Go and refuse single-use plastic. Go and teach one person on behalf of the Church of Pentecost, local government, chieftaincy and religious affairs, Cop Nation Foundation. Thank you for celebrating World Environment Day with us. We have called on our partners to be here. I would want to say thank you for the servicemen that came through from immigration, from prisons, the police, the naval space, the Air Force base. I thank you all for the invitation we gave you, and then you came through. Forestry Commission, TTU, all of you, Church of Pentecost, Mr. Harry Ansah. Sorry for calling him Mr. I need to know the rank and then mention it well. Sorry. PC as well. I am grateful. I needed to do this. I needed to tell you that we appreciate you so much. And yes, Nana, please, we will come. This time they will not wait 10 years. We apologize. Sorry. Thank you. Mina, please, you can then introduce for the closing prayer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my MC. We also want to acknowledge all our media partners. Thank you for supporting us. And I'll also want to let our senior high school students know that in Technical University, we also study Bachelor of Technology in Media Studies. So if you want to go into the media, study journalism, you want to study creative writing, you can come. We'll train you, and you'll be proud of what you become. Thank you very much. So, to take the closing prayer for us will be Pastor Asari Asamoah from the Church of Pentecost. I have been your co-MC for today. My name is Wilhelmina Koka-Davis in the Department of Communication Technology. Thank you.
Respectfully, can we be on our feet? Our Father in heaven, we thank you and we bless you. We began the day with you, and we committed every activity here into your hands. We want to bless you for bringing the program to a successful end. Father, we say thank you. Even as we leave here, we still commit ourselves into your hands, Lord. We pray your traveling mercies upon each and everyone here. Take us to our various destinations. The rest of the program this evening and tomorrow is in your hands. May your spirit continue to lead us so that when we are through, we shall equally say, indeed, has been the Lord from day one. We bless you and we thank you for what you have done. Continue to lead us. In Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
The future plus its trees.
We would have to have our dignitaries.
Yeah,
the regional minister will join the sector minister here. All of us.
And